All right, you guys, welcome to another Bad Dad Tarot reaction. As you already can tell by the title, we're going to go ahead and jump into Neurodivergent. Can I say the word? Neurodivergent from Ren and Chris Webby, otherwise known as Inpatient. I've really enjoyed the 2 reactions that I've already done. I know Caskets has already been released. I'll be catching up on that. But let me ask you guys, I thought about I was going to include this one in it, but I'm going to go ahead and do this one so I can ask you guys, and you guys can let me know in the comments. A couple of years ago, when I was first introduced to Ren, I did a 12-hour stream doing reactions to Ren, going deep diving down the Ren rabbit hole, as they call it. A lot of renegades, new renegades at that point in time, joined me. We went in all the way back to Trick the Fox, also the Big Push and things like that. And I plan on adding more of the Big Push in my reaction list as well. But what I'm asking is, would you guys be into doing a live stream? I know that I can do it on Rumble, which you'll be seeing this reaction on Rumble without any issues. YouTube gets kind of iffy. I know that both Chris Webby and Ren, they're quick to release copyright holds and things like that on the songs. They want to see reactors doing reactions to their songs. Unfortunately, the way YouTube's content ID works is it will hit you if you're trying to do one live. It'll shut you down. I've had that happen in the past. I've not done it in a few years, but if we can do it, how many of you guys would like to do a live stream? I'll include Caskets in the live stream, along with some other Ren reactions that I've not done, so I can catch up to that. I know we've still got to do Starry Night as far as Vincent's Tales go. I also would like to dive more into Chris Webby. I mentioned in one of my tarot videos, which if you're into tarot, by the way, I have a tarot channel. You can find that link in the description. I mentioned then that I had found out as I was adding old Chris Webby songs to the React list, I discovered that he's been around for quite a long time, and he has done some work with some pretty big names. And one of them being one of my favorite artists, rap artist from back in the day, back in my day. He was the last artist to perform with DMX, which blows my mind because I'm just now being exposed to Webby as far as I know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I've not heard anything from him, and I'm also want to go back and do some of the raw thoughts. So would you guys be into doing a live stream with me? Would you guys be into that? Exploring again, both going into some of Ren's reactions that I've not done, some of his stuff that he did with the Skinner brothers, Slaughterhouse, which I'm still not fully understanding what that is. I thought that was a group he had collabed with. Apparently it's another project. And then as well as, diving into some of Webby's stuff, but doing them both in one live stream. If you guys would be into that, you guys let me know in the description box, and during the live I'll do it like I did before, where you guys will kind of get to tell me, hey, check this one out, check this one out, check this one out, if they're not ones I've already done reactions to. And hell, maybe we'll even revisit some reactions that I've already done reactions to in the past, that I've lost due to a corrupt hard drive, unfortunately. But anyway, before we dive into this one, we got to do this the right way. So hang on just a few seconds. All right, we had to do the standard channel identification. That's what we if you're really young. That's what it used to be called on television when they did that. Anyway, without further ado, I've been using that word a lot in the last I'm recording a few different reactions on this day. So if you happen to see other reactions and I'm wearing the same outfit, that's why. I do wear the same clothes sometimes, but whatever. Anyway, let's jump into Neurodivergent from Ren and Chris Webby, otherwise known as AKA Inpatient. Okay, right off the bat, I feel like this is Ren. It's gotta be Ren playing the bass line. It sounds like an old school punk bass line, punk rock. And I've said that before. He gives me the whole punk rock aesthetic vibe a lot of times. But let's jump into this.
Stay calm, boy. My thoughts are burning like the napalm. I think I need to get away from this noise. I hate the places that I came from. Destroy, I'm burn a message from the preacher. Subliminal, out the speaker. I never paid attention either. There's something strange about my demeanor. Pity, don't feel pity for this sick boy. I've been sitting pretty with prescriptions, flipping stimulants and edibles. It's medicine, cerebellum, repairable, tweaking the biochemical, peaking. I'm feeling incredible. But wait a second, need dopamine. My focus goes towards smoke machine. Precursor birth from L-tyrosine. And my racetrack doors very psychedelic. Deciphering maybes I might have been. The spiraling Fibonacci, Vicodin. The piloting Kawasaki ninja thing. I bring to a big talk, begin and I go.
Whoa. Hang on just a second, guys. Hang on. Okay. I had to pause for a moment and bring up these lyrics because, wow. Okay, so I was wrong. I mean, the bass line still does remind me kind of old school punk a little bit. But when he got into the stay calm, boy, my thoughts are burning like the napalm. We're back to a similar vibe, not exactly the same, but a similar vibe as Down the Road. A little bit of funky, a little bit of, I don't know, kind of some old school rock, blues, very blues influenced rock, until he comes into that fast rapping that I couldn't catch all of what he was saying, but stay calm, boy. My thoughts are burning like they're napalm. Oi. Think I need to get away from this noise. I hate the places that I came from. Destroy. Oh. And burn the message from the preacher. Subliminal out the speaker. Never paid attention either. There's something strange about my demeanor. Pity, don't feel pity for the sick boy. I've been sitting pretty with prescriptions, flipping stimulants and edible. Okay. Now, is he talking about flipping them, like selling them, or is he talking about taking them all the time? And I think he's talking about taking them. It's medicine, cerebellum, repairable, tweaking the biochemical, peaking. I feel incredible. Yeah, he's talking about being dependent upon the medications, because now my understanding, real quick, let's do this. Now I use Brave, so let me do this real quick. I'm gonna look up the word neurodivergent. Let's look, not the lyric. Go back here, because I'm pretty familiar with what it is. I don't think it's, yeah, it's a non-medical umbrella. I was going to say, I don't think it's something that people are actually diagnosed with. It's like a self-diagnosis, but it does include, do they talk about it here? Term can also encompass mental health conditions like bipolar, okay, OCD, social anxiety, as well as genetic conditions such as Down syndrome or Williams syndrome, which I'm not familiar with. That is neurotypical. This is, okay, neurotypical is the quote unquote normal way of thinking. It refers to individuals whose brain function aligns with societal norms, right? While neurodivergent individuals experience differences in social interaction, learning, and sensory processing. Strengths and challenges. While neurodivergent individuals may face barriers in systems not designed for their needs, noisy environments, or rigid social cues, they often possess distinct advantages such as enhanced pattern recognition, creative problem solving, high concentration, or superior spatial reasoning. Estimates suggest that approximately 15 to 20% of the global population exhibits signs of neurodivergence. Success often depends on environmental accommodations such as flexible work structures, interesting, noise-canceling headphones, or alternative communication methods, rather than changing the individual's inherent traits. That's interesting. I need to talk with my son about this. He suffers from chronic migraines, but he is extremely, extremely bright, very advanced in his learning. Okay, so it's a non-umbrella term describing individuals whose brains develop, process information, or function differently from what is considered typical or neurotypical. Coined by sociologist Judy Singer in 1997-98, the concept frames these neurological, I cannot speak, differences not as deficits or disorders to be cured, but as natural variations in human cognition that come with unique strengths and challenges. Sometimes like ADHD, common conditions associated with it, or autism spectrum disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, dyslexia, dyspraxia, and various sensory processing disorders. The term can also encompass mental health conditions like, okay, we already talked about that one. So it's not a disorder as much as it is. Now, me coming from the psychological perspective, the way I like to read tarot, I'm not a psychologist. I've never been to school for psychology, but it's one of my interests. I'm very much into Carl Jung, not so much into Freud, a little bit, but more into Jungian psychology. And I delve quite often into that and use that in my tarot. I don't read tarot in a way that you might think, where it's all about somebody's doing this or somebody's doing that. Sometimes that comes up in readings. It's not necessarily predictive readings. A lot of times I'm dealing more or trying to focus more on like shadow work, self-improvement, self-empowerment, and reading from psychological archetypal figures in the tarot and kind of trying to read it from that perspective. That's just where my brain goes. I don't know. Maybe I'm neurodivergent. Speaking of which, I think I may follow this reaction up with a related tarot reading. I did that with a Prince reaction that I did to a song that came out post-mortem of his. That's in the list of videos down there. But if I end up doing it, which I think I will, I'll either link it at the end of this video or in the description, or maybe both. Yes, I think I will do that. I think it's important because this is okay, so tweaking the biochemical, peaking, I feel incredible, but wait a second, need dopamine. My focus goes, the world's smoke machine. So he's talking about the ADHD, ADD kind of lack of focus there, or specific focus. precursor birth from L-tyrosine, and my racetrack thoughts race cycling, deciphering maybes and might have beens. Oh man, right? Spiraling, Fibonacci, Vicodin, I pile it in, Kawasaki Ninja thing, I bring torque, big talk big, begin. He is into, that sums up where that artistry comes from with him. He goes from thinking about Fibonacci sequence and psychology and deep thoughts about like George Orwell and all of that, going into dealing with, you know, talking about depression and talking about the prescriptions, you know, speaking of, he's all over the place sometimes with where he goes artistically, and he's very advanced. So maybe he definitely is. I'm not gonna, you know, analyze him or whatever, but I feel like that is where he's at. But let's go back to this. Let's get back into it. I think we're just getting ready to get into this chorus. And I will pause some because I want to understand. I want to understand what they're saying, number one, but I want to understand the deeper underlying messages, especially when it comes to Ren, and now also what I'm familiar with Webby. So let's continue on.
Biochemical peaking, I'm feeling incredible. But wait a second, need dopamine. My focus goes towards smoke machine. Precursor birth from L-tyrosine. And my racetrack doors race cycling. Deciphering maybes, I might have been aspirating. Fibonacci, Vicodin, the piloting, Kawasaki Ninja thing. I bring to a big talk big, begin. And I go, off script status quo, car twisted. The roll, top lip split, explode. Misfit, don't fit. What makes a person? Neurodivergent. Sick for certain.
Neurodivergent.
They told me I was broken. Nothing but a defect in my head. Said that I was hopeless. Just a fucking reject hanging on by a thread. But
I'm loving Webby's voice. I really do. That gritty, dirty voice. Yeah, you know what I mean. And as he began into his chorus or into his verse, I mean, that actually makes a lot of sense that someone who's neurodivergent would be very good at other skills, gifts, rapping, songwriting, deep thoughts. They've got to find a way to try to bring it all together when their mind is all over the place. They got to find a way, or the thinking is scattered. They got to find, I bet they make extremely great artists. I bet if we were to go back in time, we would see some of the greatest artists and authors and poets are probably have hints of neurodivergency. This is really good. I like this. And Ren cracks me up with his acting. Sometimes he's getting that down, isn't he?
they told me I was broken. Nothing but a defect in my head. Said that I was hopeless. Just a fucking reject hanging on by a thread. But after all the pills that they got me, it turned me to a zombie. So welcome to the dawn of the dead. In the handicap spot, just to see that doctor. And this is what he said. Yeah, he said I got a touch of autism. Piece of my puzzle is missing. While the attention deficit disorder tunnels my vision. But see, this world's an asylum and shit. We all in the system. And our sanity's the motherfucking cost of admission. You see that glitch in the algorithm, that's me. Don't fit in a crowd, I lift a boundary. Going sick, let it out and flip. They found me with a misfits round, so bitch allow me to show 'em what I came to do. Shut the blinds and keep the noise down, cause it's about time to let them all into a madman's mind. Not well, but hell, I feel fine. Go, off script status quo, got
Ren. Oh man, that's a great image right there. I like it. I might have to, let me see if I'll end up using that as my thumbnail. That's pretty good. Let me go back here real quick You guys just hang tight with me, all right? Because I want to go back and get what Webby's saying here. Off script, status quo. I got twisted, erode, top lip split, explode, misfit, don't fit, what makes a person, neurodivergent. Okay. Webby, he told me I was broken. Right. That's the way they get diagnosed. Like there's a defect in my head. Said that I was hopeless, just a fucking reject hanging on by a thread. But after all the pills they got me, it turned me to a zombie. So it like shuts down where this gift can be at. I feel like I'm not a doctor, so don't take this as being any medical advice. So welcome to the dawn of the dead. Yeah, I like that. Turned me into a zombie. So welcome to the dawn, the rising of the dead. In the handicap spot, just to see that doctor, and this is what he said. I got a touch of the tism. It's called him autistic. Piece of my puzzle is missing, while the attention deficit disorder tunnels my vision. Right, saying I can't think straight, but then I also have hyper focus on certain things. To see this world's an asylum and shit, we all in the system. Boy, ain't that the truth. And our sanity's the motherfucking cost of admission. Get it, Webby, get it. You see that glitch in the algorithm? That's me. Don't fit in the crowd. I lift the boundary. Ooh, that's me. That's me too. I'm on the outside of everything I try to do. I end up being outside of it. I can't go along with the crowd. Even with what I said, with the way I do tarot, I can't do it like everyone else is doing. I try and I can't. And now I've gotten tired of trying, so I just don't. And that's been a while back that I decided that. But going sick, let it flip, let it out and flip. They found me with the misfits round. Yeah, yeah. To show them what I came to do, shut the blinds and keep the noise down, because it's about time to let them into a madman's mind. Not well, but hell, I feel fine. Yeah, they tell you that there's something wrong, that you need to get medicated to fix it. You're broken. There's something not right, because you're not like everyone else. You're not like the other sheep. You're like the black sheep. What's the matter with you? Nothing is the matter with us.
Steady, whoa, whoa, oh, whoa, top lip split, explode, whoa, oh, whoa, misfit, don't fit, whoa, what makes a person, whoa, neurodivergent, whoa, sick for certain, whoa, neurodivergent.
Love that bass line. I get it too. With the video, they're showing the talents. The neurodivergents are the ones who are getting up there with the talents. And I like how they represented like the goth kind of punk girl, the outcast, if you want to call it, like nerdy kind of guy, all the outcast, which again, I've been that way since I was younger. I used to be a punk rocker, believe it or not. And then you see me. People like to say I'm dark or something like that because I do tarot and I wear a hat that covers my eyes most of the time and whatever. Hey, I don't need to fit in. I don't need to be like everyone else. There's already enough of those, isn't there? There's only one me. There's only one Ren. There's only one Webby. There's only one most of you.
Whoa, sick entirely. Whoa, shrinks in psychiatry. Whoa, don't mind my anxiety. Whoa, or my non-sobriety. Whoa, doctors lining up to lie to me. Whoa, speak too much, they try to silence me. Whoa, just a product of society. Well, that's fine with me.
Okay, so I wonder if this is true. So the album should be coming out. It's called Asylum. It should be coming out July, right? Which is very, very short from the time I'm recording this reaction. But I wonder if it's true that those who are neurodivergent typically, let's find out, let me ask, if they typically do neurodivergent substances. Let's put it that way. Yes, neurodivergent people are switch it back for you guys so you can see it as well. Says, yes, neurodivergent people are statistically more likely to use substances and develop substance use disorders compared to neurotypical peers. Research indicates that individuals with ADHD are approximately 2 to 3 times more likely to develop dependencies on alcohol or drugs, while those with autism face a 6-fold increase. Whoa. In risk for substance use disorder. Whoa. Self-medication, that's what I was looking for, the word or the term. Many neurodivergent individuals use substances to cope with sensory overload, social anxiety, emotional dysregulation, or racing thoughts. For example, alcohol or cannabis may be used to quiet an ADHD mind or calm autistic sensory overwhelm. Social masking, sometimes they use it as a social lubricant to help them feel more comfortable in social settings or to mask their differences. And despite these risks, neurodivergence itself does not cause addiction. Rather, the increased likelihood stems from the unique challenges neurodivergent individuals face in navigating a world not designed for their needs, often combined with systemic barriers to appropriate health care. Man. Now, in the United States, I know that the current president did sign an executive order reclassifying cannabis and THC. We'll see where that goes. That just opens them up to being able to do more research. They also opened it up for a couple of other treatments, I'll say, that have been used elsewhere for PTSD. I can't remember what the name of that is, but I don't know, guys. Maybe we're living in the day and age we'll begin to see where it's a little more accepted and it doesn't have to be so hidden for them to kind of cope. For people like, I'll say like us, I don't want to self-diagnose myself and say, just so I can say I fit in with something. But everything I just read and everything that he was talking about, they were talking about in this song, I can definitely relate to. It says co-occurring conditions, high rates of trauma, depression, right, and PTSD among neurodivergent populations further increase the risk of substance misuse as a coping mechanism. I would fit in that statistic, that category statistically. But again, it's not something that is medically, it's not a medical umbrella. It's not medically diagnosed, although these other diagnoses do fall within that category. This was a good one. This whole album so far, I'm very much looking forward to it. And I've only done 3 songs at this point. You guys can check out the other reactions to this whole series. Maybe I'll make another playlist for just these. I've already got Ren and Webby reaction playlist, but maybe I'll make another one that's just for Inpatient, which will also be connected to the others. Anyway, this was good. I enjoyed it a lot, and I appreciate them touching on subjects that are hot topics and topics that people tend to kind of stay away from. Some people sing and talk about depression, but they don't typically go into this depth with it. I really enjoyed that. You guys let me know what you thought of this reaction, and let me know what you guys think about my idea, like I said, of doing a live. See if you would be into that. And also, there'll be a link to the follow-up tarot reading, the corresponding tarot reading. I'll have that linked both in the description and as a little thing at the end of this video, the little card thing that comes up at the end. You can click on that. It'll take you over to my tarot channel to that reading. Hopefully we'll see you over there, guys. Appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one.